going to pin myself. And you guys know how to do that, right? You can pin my screen so you can see me. Let me make sure you can see my mat. You might not see my head, but you don't need to see my head necessarily. Okay. So what I want you to do first is a little test. Okay, you can keep your ball in your hand for now. But just a little test. I'm going to turn this way. I'm going to do it both ways so you can see. But all we're going to do is a simple inhale overhead and then come down to the toes. And you can bend your knees if you want. Doesn't matter. I just want you to feel your hamstrings, your calves. Where do you feel tightness in those spaces? Maybe one side's tighter than the other. We're just going to hold here for about 5 more seconds. Just take a couple breaths. And try to just feel the body. Where is it tight? Where do you feel that tension in the back of your leg? All right, so hold that. And then very slowly start rolling up from that forward fold.
I got it.
So we did a little self-test there to see where we're tight in the hamstrings. Okay, so I am going to mute everybody, but you can unmute yourself if you need to say something to me. Just shout it out. Okay, so we felt any tightness. Now, I want you to find a squat stance. So feet hip distance apart. I'm going to show you this way. How deep you go is up to you, but I just want you to do about 5 nice, easy squats. And what I want you to pay attention to is especially your ankle, your knees, and your hips. How does everything feel? Nice and slow. Just do 2 more. Good. Now I want you to come up and using your wall space if you have it. Find balance on one leg. Let's do the right leg. That's the way that we're going to roll first. So find balance, standing balance on your right leg, using the wall if you need. What's your balance like? Are you stable? Are you wobbly? What is your right foot doing? Take a little inventory here. Okay, good. Now we're going to take the ball and we're going to roll the bottom of our right foot. And again, remember the space that we're focusing on is between the ball of the foot and the heel. Okay, we don't want to roll the heel bone itself, but we can roll the spaces on either side. And we can roll all these spaces in the bottom of the foot. So start out nice and gentle, using the wall for balance if you need to, right? Do a little bit with the toes relaxed, a little bit with the toes pulled up. And think about the 3 areas of the bottom of your foot. You might not think your foot's that big, but think of the middle edge, right? By your big toe, the outer edge, by your pinky toe, and then the space all in the middle, okay? So roll that. You can go kind of back and forth pretty quickly if you want. Now, harder is not necessarily better in this case. We just want to get some pressure in that space to let the fluids kind of pump up, rehydrate. We're encouraging fluid back into these spaces, okay? And the other thing is we want to drink lots of water after we do any kind of self-myofascial release. So water, water, water. Okay, rolling back and forth. Now we're going to put the ball right under the ball of the foot. And I want you to imagine going down from each toe, okay? You have 5, right? So start on the big toe, and I want your heel to be down on the floor. So if you look at my heel, it's down. Okay, ball's under my big toe. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rock forward a little bit and rock back and rock forward and rock back. Now I'm going to move the ball to the next toe and I'm going to rock forward and rock back. Sorry, I don't need to move that foot. Just a little rock forward, rock back. Do it twice, move on to the next toe. Rock forward, rock back. Rock forward, rock back. Move on to the next toe. Rock forward, rock back, rock forward, rock back. Take the next 30 seconds to go back to any of those spaces you just rocked into and spend a little bit more time. Rock forward, rock back. Okay, lifting the toes, bending the toes, getting some movement. All right, now go back And work in that space again, ball of the foot to heel of the foot. Rolling back and forth, like you're kind of scrubbing it, right? This actually is called scrubbing. So imagine scrubbing the space. Toes up, toes down. Good. Now here's our first retest, okay? So shake out that leg a little bit. All we've done is roll the foot. That's all we've done, right? Come into a forward fold like we did earlier. Now, how does your right side feel versus your left? It should feel looser. That hamstring, you should feel different in that hamstring. Just hang here. Take 3 breaths, big inhales and exhales. How does that right side feel compared to the left? Good. Bend the knees. Come on up. Now come down into squat. Just do 5, just like we did earlier. Nice and slow. How does that right side feel compared to the left? Right? My right side is just much more active, awake. My left side feels like it's still half asleep, right? And that's just by rolling the bottom of the foot. We haven't done anything else yet. Right? Down and up. Good. And then our last test was our one leg stance, remember? Right leg. Use the wall if you need to. But how is your one leg balance on that side? I am much more stable now on that foot than I was earlier, right? All right, so let's give the same treatment to the other side. Rolling the ball, okay? Ball of the foot to heel. Little with the toes up, little with the toes down. Okay, can be quick, can be slow. You control the pressure. You never want to roll to the point where your breath is being taken away, okay? Should be a, oof, hurts a little, but it feels good. That's how this whole rolling should feel, okay? Now, heel on the floor, ball under the ball of your foot. So again, we're gonna go from either one side to the other. I'm gonna go big toe to pinky toe. Put the ball under that big toe ball, right? And just rock a little bit forward, keeping your heel on the floor. I'm gonna do it twice on that side. Now I'm gonna move it to the next toe. I'm gonna rock forward. Take a chance, don't spend the whole time looking down, but look down and see how you can see the knuckles of your toes. Where your toes start from your foot, you can see those knuckles move, right? We wanna get as much individualistic movement of your digits as we can. Gives you better activation of the muscles all the way up the chain, right? So just rocking forward, rocking back, go back and forth a couple more times. Maybe you feel one area that's tighter, right? For me on the right side, it was outside towards my pinky toe, it was much tighter. So when we go back to rolling, I'm going to target that space, that outer edge. Okay? And here we go. Go back to that rolling, right? Heel the ball, maybe giving it a little bit more pressure here. Going back to the spaces that you felt tightness in. Back and forth. Good, and shake that out. Good, so let's test that side now, right? Come down into our forward fold. I just folded that left side. How does that feel in compared to the right? How does it feel in comparison to what we had earlier? Take 3 breaths here. And we're gonna roll up, find your squat stance. And again, nice slow 5 squats, down and up. How does that ankle feel? The mobility of your ankle is so key to the quality of your squat, down and up. Hips back. Go at your depth. You don't have to go as low as I do. Just feel the activation. How are those muscles working? Good. Shake that out. And then try your left leg, one leg balance. All right, left leg, balancing on that left leg. Hold. How does that feel? Guess we didn't test this in the beginning, did we? No, we didn't test that left foot. But now see how that left foot feels. Good. Shake it out. All right, so we're going to go into stretching the calves. Now I'm going to show everything this way because it works for my camera setup. But please know that you can use your wall for any of this, and I will line up with my wall a little bit so you can see a couple things. So use whatever you need. If you want to put hands on the wall, that actually does help with the stretch a little bit. So we're going to focus on the calf, feet and calves next. So first what we're going to do, put that right foot back, bottoms of toes into the floor, heel up to the ceiling. And what we're going to do is push the toes into the floor, bottoms of toes into the floor. We're going to lift the heel up as if we're going to take off in a sprint. So lift the heel up, big inhale, and exhale, tighten that back glute. And inhale, push the toes up, and exhale, tighten that back glute. One more time, inhale, push up, and exhale, tighten that back glute. You should feel a nice stretch here in the hip flexor, so you can take a longer stride. Good, now we're going to flip over. Tops of the toes into the mat, front of the ankle forward, as if you're kicking something, kicking straight ahead, hold. Glute is tight here, so push the toes on the floor, lift the chest up. Hold. Do 2 more breaths. Kicking forward. Good. Now I want you to take your back foot and line it up with that heel all the way pressed to the floor. Okay, so notice my heel is on the floor, it's not coming up. The other thing is all 10 toes are pointed forward, right? So we're here. Make sure that back toe, right? So I want to be here. I don't want to be here. All 10 toes pointed forward. Right? Heel on the floor. So we have a little lunge position. You can shorten it if you need to, that's fine. Take your arms, reach forward, but keep that heel down. Rock back. Reach forward, rock back. It's just a little reach. Reach forward, rock back, hit that heel down, reach forward, rock back, and reach forward. Press that heel down, and come back. Now, reach down, heel still down, come up. Reach down like you're going to scoop something up right at the height of your knees. Come up. Reach down. Keep that heel down. Feel that foot working, right? And reach down. Inhale up. And reach down. Good. Using your wall, this is what it looks like. Heel on the floor. Push into the wall. Keep the heel down. Come into your lunge. Come back. Push in the wall, keep the heel down. Come back. Make sure all 10 toes pointed forward. Push in the wall. Come back. Push in the wall. And one more. And relax. Should have a nice stretch through the calf, all the way from the ankle up to the back of the knee. Okay? Just switch sides. So left foot. Toes into the floor, heel up to the ceiling, inhale up, and exhale, tuck the tail. Inhale up, and exhale, squeeze the glute. 2 more, inhale up, and exhale, squeeze that glute. And 1 more, inhale, and exhale, squeeze that glute, stretching the bottom of the foot here. Hold. And switch. Top of the toes on the floor, front of the ankle forward. Okay, tuck in that glute. Imagine you're kicking something. Kick it, hold it. Breathe. Release. Kick, hold. Tighten that glute. Breathe. Release. Take hold, tighten that glute, breathe, and release. Now take that same foot, make sure all 10 toes point forward, right? We're not opening here, we're not in a warrior. All 10 toes point forward. Use your wall. If you feel that more, use your wall. All right, so we're here. Put that heel down, keep that heel down. Arms forward, rock forward, just a little rock, and come back. Keep that heel glued to your mat. Rock forward, come back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, come back. 2 more. Inhale, forward. Exhale, come back. Keep that heel glued down. My heel is trying to spin out or in. Inhale, forward. Exhale, down. Now reach down to the knees. Scoop it up. Come up high. Inhale. Exhale. 4 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Keep that heel planted. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. And spend a little time on the wall if you have it and you haven't yet. Make sure toes are pointed forward. Heel is parked. Push. Actively push that heel into the floor. Now, actively push the wall away. Inhale. Exhale. Try to straighten that knee. Lift that back knee up to the ceiling as much as you can as you press your heel into the floor. So, can you straighten that back knee as you press your heel down? Push the floor away. 3 breaths here. Good, and shake that out. We're gonna do 5 more squats. I want you to feel the difference now with those ankles and calves nice and loose. Feel the difference in your squat. So I'm gonna turn this way. Again, depth is up to you, but do them nice and slow. Feel the activity through your toes. Push down and up. Squeezing those glutes to the top. You're probably getting a better activation through there. And up. Good. All right. So we tested, we retested for the feet. All right. So important. Rolling the feet every day. You don't have to do it standing. You can do it in a chair as well. Try to take time, 5 minutes a day, 5 minutes each foot, maybe. If not, do 2 minutes each foot. Spend a little time with the bottom of your feet. You'll get benefits from it, believe me. Okay, so now we're going to take the ball to our hip. Okay, so finding the bony hip, edge of your hip or crease of your hip, not crease of your hip, sorry. The top of your pelvis right there, right? You're going to put the ball right below it. We're going to get that high glute space. The glute med, so put the ball between yourself and the wall. It's right underneath the ridge or the rim of that pelvis. And you're just gonna roll from the middle of your back out towards the hip. So we're going out in this space, side to side, right? Again, you control how much pressure here. Don't have to push until you get your breath taken away. Nice and easy. Just feel those muscles and especially the fascia on top of the muscles, right? That's what we're targeting. We want to get that stickiness. Release yourself from the muscle tissue a little bit, right? Now you can take it out all the way out to this hip space. Again, we're below the hip, all right? Below the top of the hip, but above the ball and socket joint, okay? So find that space, roll that space. All right, now out here, lots of hip rotators, a lot of interconnection in there through the hips. You can roll, you can do a little circle. Just again, listen to your body, do what feels good to you. Everybody's a little bit different. Now, if you find a tight spot, I have one right here, okay? I'm gonna push into that tight spot, hold it, take my inside arm up, like I'm gonna touch the ceiling, and then I'm gonna reach away as I push the ball into the wall. I'm going to reach in the opposite direction, but I'm not just falling over reaching, I'm lengthening and reaching. Okay? Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And at least one more breath. Take 2 more if you need. And restack. Finding any spaces, right? And let's go back, or go to the other side, sorry. Again, that high glute space. So below the ridge of the pelvis, above the glute max. Okay, so we're pretty much going horizontal pattern here, right? From the middle of your body out towards your hip. Middle of your body out towards your hip. Okay, so again, if you feel a tight spot in there, you can kind of come a little sideways on, push into it, reach up, and lengthen. What we're doing here is called a pin and stretch. So if there's a trigger point, we're going to pin it, and then we're going to stretch it. Okay? Similar to if you had a deep tissue massage, a massage therapist would hold that trigger point and then try to lengthen the muscle tissue out of it, out of the trigger point, side to side. Okay, and again, we can get into that side. You can move all the way around that hip joint, whatever feels good. Don't go into the big glute yet. We're going to do that next. Right, if you find a spot, again, inhale up, exhale over, inhale up, exhale over, and inhale up, and exhale over. Let's go back to the first side. Now we're going to take that ball lower into the big glute space, big glute max, right? Biggest muscle in your body. Okay, more area to explore here. You can go on a horizontal pattern. You can go on a diagonal pattern. You can go up and down a little bit. You can go in a circle. I like to spend time just moving around that ball and socket joint, right? I'm not going to roll it. That doesn't feel too good, but I'm going to roll around it. Maybe I trace a line with that ball all around that space, right? Right there in the glute, right? If you find a tight spot, again, press and hold. You can add length if you want. But the most important thing here is the breath, right? Because we want to send that tension away. So make sure you're not holding your breath. Big inhales and exhales. Okay, and whenever you're ready, take that ball to the other side in the glute, big glute space or the lower glute space. Rolling side to side. Okay, just 30 more seconds here on the hips and the glutes. So target anything that you want to here. Good. Okay, so now we're going to move the ball up, right? Take a little time, shake out those legs a little bit. We are going to get back and stretch those, but before we get down to the floor, I want to roll a little bit in the upper body as well. So now you're going to take the ball. I'm going to come down on my knees here. So I'm going to take the ball and roll around my scapula, right? So I'm not going to roll on that bony scapula, but space all the way around it, okay? So it can go up in this space, right? You can go all the way up to here, and go all the way down. I'm going to switch hands here, right? You know, all the way down and around. So just imagine kind of tracing that line next to your shoulder blade, right? So using a wall again here, put it in this, in that space. You can go down, up, side to side. You can go next to, you can go the space between the spine and the shoulder blade, right? Right in there. below the shoulder blade, right in there. Think about making it almost like a little L pattern. So you might do the lower part, and then you can take the ball and put it here. You have to put your feet out from the wall a little bit, and you can roll just in that top space, right? And those traps would get really, really tight. A little side to side. You can do a little down and up. Are you doing that trap space? Rocking a little side to side. So again, listen to your body, give it what it needs. You can always spend more time rolling. I encourage you to take time throughout your day with the ball on the wall. Doesn't have to be a lot of time in each space. It's not like you want to spend 10 minutes on every tight spot, right? We just want to get some movement in there, get some fluid in there, right? Good, and switch to the other side whenever you're ready. So in other words, I'd rather you spend a few minutes aside a couple times a day than just spend 20 minutes on one side, right? Or one space. Give each space a couple minutes, and if you can do that a couple times a day, especially prior to exercising or walking, you're going to get the most benefit out of it. Okay, so rolling the ball, if you're doing a lot of walking, rolling your feet with the ball before you walk, great idea. Okay, gets all those leg muscles working, everything's kind of turned on, right? So finish the back here, hit the upper back here on this other side if you want. Okay, one more minute, rolling, and you can go back to the hips if you want. We're going to come down to the floor and stretch the hips and glutes, and we'll do some stretch of the upper back as well. Just about 10 more minutes here. All right, so targeting the hips and glutes, we're going to start with that hip flexor. We're going to come down to the floor on one knee. Now, if you have your towel, you can use it here, fold it up, put it underneath that knee if you need a little extra padding. You can also roll up your mat, right? Whatever works. We're going to come down in this half kneel stance here, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. Right? I'm going to take your right hand and reach it up, or your down leg side, whatever that is. Reach it up, lengthen, squeeze that back glute tight, and press forward. And again, inhale, lengthen, squeeze that back glute tight, press forward. All right? 3 more times. Inhale, lengthen, squeeze that back glute, press forward. 2 more. Inhale, lengthen. Squeeze that back glute, press forward. So you get a nice lengthening here through the hip flexor. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, press forward. Good. Now, we're going to straighten that front leg. Heel down, toe up. And I want those toes to be actively pulling towards your shin here. We're going to now stretch the hamstring on this straight leg side. So I'm going to come down. Fingertips, you can come down lower if you want, but we're going to do this little rock forward, rock back. So think about bending the front knee and then driving the hips back to straighten it. I'm not forcing my knees to the floor. I'm rather driving my hips back, right? Hips forward, hips back, toes back. Now I'm getting that nice stretch. And I'm not jerking anything. Everything's nice and slow and controlled. Toes pulled up. Good, now we're gonna go back to our 90-90, taking our hands down inside that front foot, okay, if you can. Now, I want you to take your front hip or front knee and circle it. So imagine tracing a circle with that knee. Right? If you want to, you can lift up that back knee, make it a more active stretch, get a little hip lengthening, take those knee circles in the opposite direction. Good, and rock back, find that hamstring lengthening, see if you can get hip to heel a little bit more now. Exhale. 2 more. Last one. And come up, 90-90. Inhale up. Exhale forward. 2 more. Inhale up. Exhale forward. Inhale up. Exhale forward. Good. Let's switch sides. Right? The other knee is down. Finding your 90-90. Down leg side. That arm comes up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, sink into that front hip a little bit more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, sink forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward. 2 more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward. Last one. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, forward. Good. Now that leg comes out, heel down, actively pulling the toes back. Come up on your fingers, whatever you need to. If you have a roller or something that brings you up, if you need that, use it. Just gonna do a little knee bend, then drive the hips back to lengthen. It's called hamstring flossing here. So imagine from heel all the way up to hip, right? Driving that hip back. Again, we're driving the hip back, we're not driving the knee down, right? Activate the core, pull the hip back. 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. Coming forward. Okay. Circling that front knee. Again, if you want it, tuck the back toes, pick up that knee. Get some hip flexor lengthening in the back leg. Change the direction of your circles in that front knee. Good, and do back to our hamstring floss so you can get the hip to heel a little bit more. Big inhales and exhales here. Good, okay. Come back up one more time, 90-90. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, press forward. 3 more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, press forward. Back glute is tight. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, press forward. And inhale, lengthen. And exhale, press forward. Good. All right, come down to your knees on all fours. And let's flip over. All right, we got the hip flexors, hamstrings. Let's do a little bit more work on the hips. So we're going to come into a reclined pigeon. Put it in front, grab the back of that other leg, pull it in towards you. Remember, you can add a little pressure on this front knee, pushing it away from your face if you want. You can also add a little rocking motion side to side, getting some nice massage in that high glute space that we already rolled, right? Rocking a little side to side. Stay with the breath here, don't lose it. Now, for the next few breaths, I want you to pull your toes towards your shin. Actively pull. the toes of your foot that's closest to your face, pull those toes towards your shin. Good, and let's switch sides. Okay, so other foot in front, right? Grabbing that back of that leg, pulling it towards you. You can put a little extra pressure on that knee, pushing it away. Rolling side to side, rocking side to side if you want. Now pulling the toes to the shin, right? Actively pulling toes to the shin for 3 more breaths. Good, unfold. Now I want you to pull both knees into your chest, grabbing the backs of the knees, pull them in. But as we're here, we're doing an active stretch again, so your tailbone is actively pressing into the floor as you pull your knees into your chest. Big inhale and exhale. Press the tailbone down, pull the knees in. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Reaching the hands between or to the outside, whatever works. Outside the foot, inside the foot, doesn't matter, whatever works for you. Grab onto something. If you can't grab the foot, can you grab the ankle, grab the shins into our happy baby pose. If you have your towel, you can use your towel here, put it around your feet and hold and rock. I'll show you what that looks like. So if you have your towel, right, you can hook it here, pull on that towel, and rock a little side to side. If that works better for you, you can do that. Right, and then you can hold on, you extend one leg out, right? Continue to rock. If you have a towel, just put the towel or switcher, whatever you got, on that one leg, extend it out, hold it down to the other side. Right, getting a nice high hamstring and hip stretch. And switch. Right, again, you can just be here, you can use your towel on that extended leg. And keep that rock going. You're gonna hold still. Good. Okay, so we're gonna finish in the resting pose, focusing on our breath. So for that, you can put, like we talked about in the beginning, you can put that yoga brick under your hips, right? Or the stack of books under your hips. But if you don't have either one of those, no worries. You can spin around, put your feet up on the wall. Now you can put your feet up here, 90 degrees, bending the hips and the knees, or you can extend the legs up, whatever feels most comfortable to you. You can even let the legs come together here on the wall and let them open up on the wall, just like we do with the yoga brick. So find a comfortable position here. If you do legs extended up the wall, usually feels a little bit better to have the hips closer. So I'll give you a little time to get into that position. And you're going to focus on your breath. I have to end the meeting here in just a few because I have a next one coming up, but I can encourage you just to stay in your position, focus on your breath, focus on your inhales and exhales. See if you can take a 4-second inhale and a 5-second exhale. Then can you do a 5-second inhale and a 6-second exhale? Focus on your breath here. Inhale, fill, expand, spread the diaphragm. Exhale, contract. Pull the belly button in to your center. Pull the pelvic floor up to your center. Drag out that exhale. How long can you make it? Big inhale and exhale. And keep with your breath here. I will send a follow-up email to this class, just letting you know a couple things. But I encourage you to stay here, do at least 5 more big inhales and exhales, taking the time for yourself and give yourself a little pat on the back. And I will see you for this class again on Monday. Have a wonderful week, everybody.